In the summer of 1942, Europe burned. After a year of victory across the continent, Hitler's armies surged once more toward the east. Their new objective, the oil-rich Caucasus, and a city whose name was a challenge in itself: Stalingrad. To Adolf Hitler, capturing the city that bore his enemy's name would be both a strategic and symbolic triumph. To Joseph Stalin, losing it was unthinkable. Between them stood the fate of millions and the turning point of the Second World War. Few could imagine that in just 6 months, this city on the Volga River would become a graveyard for 2 million souls, and the place where the unstoppable German war machine finally broke.
Апреля 1945 года. Наступление Первый Белорусский фронт.
In August 1942, the German Sixth Army under General Paulus reached the outskirts of Stalingrad. Behind them lay a trail of victory stretching from Poland to the Don River. The Luftwaffe began its bombardment on August 23rd. In a single day, over 1,000 tons of explosives fell upon the city. Streets vanished, factories collapsed. More than 40,000 civilians died within hours. But beneath the rubble, the Soviet defenders refused to flee. Stalin's infamous order number, 227, had already been issued. Not one step back. The defense of Stalingrad was no longer just a battle. It was survival itself. When the Germans entered Stalingrad, they found not a city, but a ruin. Every building was shattered, every street blocked by rubble and corpses. Tanks could no longer maneuver. The fight descended into chaos, a new kind of warfare the world had never seen. The Germans called it Rattenkrieg, the Rat War. Battles were fought from room to room, floor to floor. Soldiers clashed in basements and attics, sometimes separated by a single wall. Soviet sharpshooters like Vasily Zaitsev turned the ruins into hunting grounds. Sniper duels became legendary, silent, patient, deadly. And through the dust and smoke, the Volga carried fresh waves of Soviet troops across the river each night. Many were killed before even setting foot on shore, but they kept coming. The Soviet 62nd Army under General Vasily Chuikov made its stand within the city. Chuikov commanded from a bunker barely 100 meters from the front line. His men fought with knives, grenades, even bare hands. "We are defending not just a city," Chuikov said, "but the heart of our motherland." Reinforcements were ferried across the Volga under fire. Supplies were almost gone. When ammunition ran out, they used shovels. When shovels broke, they used stones. Still, the Germans advanced, convinced victory was near. Yet the more they fought, the deeper they sank into the ruins of Stalingrad. Hen came November 19th, 1942. The temperature dropped to -30. The Red Army launched Operation Uranus, a massive counterattack designed to encircle the German 6th Army. Attacking from the north and south, Soviet forces struck at the weaker Romanian and Italian divisions guarding the flanks. Within 3 days, the trap closed. Over 300,000 Axis troops were surrounded inside the city. The hunters had become the hunted. Supplies ran low, and German aircraft could not break through Soviet air defenses. The once proud 6th Army was trapped, cold, starving, and without hope. By January 1943, Stalingrad was a frozen wasteland. German soldiers huddled in cellars, burning furniture to keep warm. Food ran out. Ammunition was gone. The wounded froze in the ruins. General Paulus begged Hitler to let him surrender. Hitler refused and promoted him to field marshal, reminding him that no German field marshal had ever been taken alive. On February 2, 1943, Paulus finally disobeyed. He surrendered the remnants of his army, 91,000 men, sick, starving, and broken. Of them, fewer than 6,000 would ever see Germany again. When the guns finally fell silent, Stalingrad no longer existed. The city was a wasteland of rubble and bones. But for the Soviet Union, the victory was more than military. It was moral. The myth of German invincibility was shattered. For the first time, Hitler's army had been utterly destroyed. Across Europe, the tide began to turn. From Stalingrad, the Red Army would push westward, through Ukraine, Poland, and finally, to Berlin itself. The Battle of Stalingrad was not merely a clash of armies, it was the collision of wills. Over 2 million people died in less than 6 months. Soldiers, civilians, men, women, and children, all consumed by a single city. Yet from that ruin rose a truth that endures even now, that courage is not the absence of fear, but the refusal to yield. Stalingrad did not fall, and in standing, it changed the world. This was Stalingrad, the city that refused to die.